So welcome to our weekly live demo. Thank you all for joining us today. As we all know, the working world is ever evolving and changing very rapidly, and more people are turning to remote work and remote workers. We see that more teams are co-located or co-distributed. The old paradigm of everyone being in the same office isn't cutting it. So having a tool like Mural allows for different perspectives, people from all over the world to work on same projects at the same time. And this is a really changing the way that we look at work and the openness of the work environment now. So today we will be joined by me, Daniel, I'm Customer Success Manager, and Madison.
Hi, everybody. My name is Madison. Great to be here today. Very excited to show you guys how awesome Mural is.
So our agenda for today, we're going to discuss what is Mural, prepare, run, and follow-up working sessions in Mural. Then we're going to discuss use cases, templates, and frameworks, next steps in Mural, and do a Q&A. So why would someone choose to integrate Mural into their workplace? So these are common collaboration challenges. As I am speaking these, which ones do you recognize from your day-to-day work? We would love to hear your thoughts, so put that in the chat as we're talking. So number one, before people integrate a tool such as Mural, a lot of companies face what is called a lack of meeting rooms. So imagine that you don't have a physical space for yourself to meet up. So having a tool like Mural allows for people to put things on the cloud, and you don't need a physical space to meet up with your teammates. A second challenge that we've seen people before integrating Mural into their lives is sharing sketches via webcam. So imagine it's challenging to share drawings by pointing them towards the webcam. You want to share your brilliant ideas. Having things digital first allows you to just share it on the Mural, and you can have it portrayed directly to your teammates. Number three is carrying foam boards. So carrying on your foam boards from meeting to meeting. Some companies don't have fixed meeting room spaces, so different teams will come in and use the same space. So we've had users tell us that before integrating Mural, they had to actually carry around large boards, and very tedious and quite annoying, actually. So number four is pointing webcam at the board. So it can be hard to communicate your ideas when pointing your webcam at whiteboards. So usually people in meetings are accustomed to working on whiteboards. You have people that are working on the other side of the world that aren't in the same space, and you want to be able to share your ideas. And again, having Mural allows you to completely cut that out and have it all in one place and share it so it can be clear and concise. Number five is the fear of erasing content. So there's always the risk that someone will delete your notes. Important ideas need to be digitized. So imagine we had stories of people writing all their brilliant ideas on a whiteboard, putting "do not erase" in big red letters in the center, and then it's all gone the next day. So having things on a cloud, it saves automatically. You don't have to have the fear of losing your content, and that is amazing. Number six is typing up sticky notes. So transcribing your ideas, you've written out all your ideas on the board, but you need to put it somewhere digital, right? And typing this up can take so much time. So just having it all at once in one place really saves you a lot of times and allows for more efficiency in the workplace. So what is Mural? Mural is a digital whiteboard that is used for collaboration. As you can see, I'm going to zoom out here, and you can see that a mural is actually quite large. I'm going to click on this drop down arrow here, and if you go to the Mural settings, you can see that the default size is 9,216 by 6,237 pixels. Imagine that you can see this little man here. This is how big it is to scale, just to get an idea. So horizontal, you can change the mural up to vertical, and then you can also do custom sizes. So that's actually really, so if I do a custom size, I can put it here, or I'm going to put 3 times vertical, and look how large that is. So there really should be no reason for you to run out of space here when using a mural. And it's really important to understand the scale. So I'm going to go back to the default size. All right, so if we look on the bottom right-hand corner, we have the mini-map. The mini-map allows you to see where all the elements are distributed within the mural. if I can click on the slider here and I can zoom in, I can also zoom out. We also have a super handy feature called move mode. So if I click on this little hand here, I can actually move around the mural without accidentally moving anyone else's content. So that's super handy if you want to just come in and you don't want to ruin someone's beautiful mural. Also, we have different zoom settings. So you can go between trackpad mode, which is pinch to zoom, two finger swipe to move, which I'm using right now as I'm on a Mac, and then mouse mode. We also have a new feature called pop-up elements. So if I hold down X and go over anything in the mural, it will actually become a lot larger and I will be able to see it. So another way to navigate around the mural, so you can see that there's a pink square and Madison's here. This is Madison's avatar. So you can see that Madison is moving around the mural and it shows you where exactly she is. So as I zoom in, you'll see that my blue square becomes a little bit smaller. I can actually grab this and go around the mural this way. This is another really cool way to make your way around your elements. So zoom out here. So yeah, so now we're going to continue on. Madison's going to take over the call here and show us how to prepare a session. Again, write out any questions you have in the chat and we'll get back to you during and we'll have a Q&A.
All right, thanks so much, Daniel. So we wanted to show you guys how you can actually prepare, run, and follow up a remote session all done in Mural. So first, we want to talk about how you can get your session prepared before you actually send out those invitations and get everybody in the Mural to collaborate together. So because Mural is so multidimensional and you can do so many different things inside Mural, we recommend actually planning your meeting in Mural. So in the first section, we're going to plan our session. So we're going to say that we've got a team meeting coming up. Our team is 6 people. Our outcomes for this meeting is that we want to plan our Christmas party and that we need to, let's say, come up with a budget. So I've got my outcomes right here. Anybody can add sticky notes and add whatever their thoughts might be for planning our session. And then lastly, I'm going to say that we've got 1 hour to do our meeting. So just a really simple activity like this can help you kind of organize your thoughts and get yourself started with the planning process for your mural. So now that we've got kind of the goals and the outcomes of our meeting, we're probably going to want to have to invite in all of our collaborators so that we can all collaborate in the same space. So first I want to talk about the 3 different types of users that we have in Mural. Our first user type are our members. Members have the most permissions out of any user type. Members can create their own murals, they can create their own rooms, they can invite others into the workspace, etc. So they're kind of like your basic typical user. When you decide to start a plan with Mural, you'll be deciding how many members you want to have access to your workspace. So let's say, for example, that I want to start a plan for 5 members. I'm going to be one of the members, and then I've now got 4 licenses I can give to whoever I want in my workspace. I can really easily just take people out, move people in, as long as I'm staying within the number of members that I'm paid for. So members are great for your core team, people that you're collaborating with every single day and that need to have access to all of the content that you're working on in your workspace. Our next user type are guests. Guests are currently limited to a few different plans, our enterprise plans. So any of you guys that are part of some really large organizations that might have, tons of workspaces here with Mural, you might be on an enterprise plan. Our education plan, if any of you are teachers or students, we do offer a free education plan, so feel free to reach out to us for more information on that. As well as our design consultant plan, which is a really cool network that we've got for consultants who do design thinking in their day-to-day work. So those 3 plans have guest access. So the basic starter plan does not have this, but I'll go into it just in case any of you guys are on plans that have guests. So guests have limited permissions compared to members. They do have an identity in Mural. Guests have to make an account just like members do, but they're limited in what they can actually do in the workspace. So guests are not able to create their own murals. They're not able to create their own rooms. They're not able to invite others. They're not able to export. So there are a couple limitations, but they're able to collaborate on the mural, on the canvas, just like anybody else. So, they can add all the elements. They can do everything that any other user type can do on the canvas. They just have some limitations on the workspace levels. They're not going to be able to create their own murals and things like that. So guests are great for maybe your clients or your stakeholders or people in your organization that aren't exactly on your team, that maybe you don't collaborate with all the time, but still need access to some of the content. And then lastly, our third user type are our anonymous collaborators. Anonymous collaborators are completely free for everyone. Doesn't matter which plan you're on, you can invite in as many anonymous collaborators as you want to your murals. So it's not limited by how many members you're paying for, things like that. It's completely free. Anonymous users do have limited permissions. They have the most limited permissions out of the 3 user types. One of the first limitations is that they come in anonymously, so you don't exactly know who is who on the canvas. They're not able to create murals, they're not able to create rooms, just like guests, they're not able to see the workspace, but they are able to collaborate on the canvas just like anybody else. So anonymous users are great for 1-10 collaborators. Maybe if you're doing like a research mural and you need anonymous users to come in and leave their thoughts, or maybe you just need to collaborate one time with a group of users. That's going to be when you're going to want to use your anonymous collaborators. So to invite others into the mural, you're going to want to click on this big share button right here. And then in this tab, I can invite in members and guests. So I'm going to say I want to invite in test@mural.co. I have the option to choose member or guests. As a reminder, if you do not have guests on your plan, you'll only see the option to choose members. Or I can actually just copy and paste this invitation link, and I can send that out to a Slack channel or to an email listserv if I've got a lot of users that I want to invite in and I don't want to manually type in their email addresses all at the same time. I've got the anonymous link section right here. So this is where I can copy and paste this anonymous link, send that over to whoever I need to come into my mural anonymously. I can also change these settings if I want them to only have view access or have editing access. I can change that up right here as well. Okay, awesome. So now that we've kind of talked about the 3 user types, I'm going to go a little bit more into how Mural is set up. So I've mentioned workspaces and rooms and murals, but what exactly does that all mean? So Mural has 3 levels. We've got our workspaces, our rooms, and our murals. We are currently inside of a mural. This mural is called Collaborating a Mural Weekly Demo. So I'm looking at one mural right now. All of your murals live inside rooms. So if I head out here, back to dashboard, I'm going to see my dashboard here. So here I'm seeing all the private rooms that I'm part of and all the open rooms that I'm part of. So we've got 2 different types of rooms. The main distinction is that private rooms require invitation. So this room, meeting 1116, if I want somebody to view this, I have to explicitly invite them into this room, hitting the share button. Whereas open rooms are open to any member in the workspace. So anybody can come in that has access to my workspace and join this room and see what's going on here. So private rooms are great for team projects, things that are still in progress, something that maybe you don't want the entire organization to see quite yet. Whereas open rooms are great for maybe resources or finished projects, things that everybody needs to see at some point. So kind of an important distinction to make. Also here on the dashboard, you'll see I can see all of the murals that I have access to in this workspace. I can see the ones I've recently opened. I can see my favorite murals. I can star any mural on the dashboard and make that a favorite mural. So I can just star that, and now it's a favorite. I've got some templates. We've got tons of pre-made templates that are great for a lot of those common activities that you might be repeating with your team. Feel free to scroll through these, check them out. Got a lot of cool ones. You can also publish your own template, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but that's a cool thing to be aware of. And then we've also got our guides over here. So if you're new to Mural, we've got a lot of really kind of quick, easy guides to help you get started, train other users, and give you some tips when collaborating in Mural. So here I'm looking at all my rooms, but all of these rooms live inside my workspace. This workspace is called Mural Demo. Most of you will probably only be in one workspace, but if you are part of a large organization, it's possible you'll be in a few others. You can switch workspaces by just clicking right here and then scrolling through your workspaces and switching over. So pretty much the way it works is that the workspace is the largest entity. We like to use the anecdote of imagine your workspace as your office building. And then within your office building, you have your rooms. So, you've got private rooms, which you might need a key to get into, or, a fingerprint, passcode. And then you've got your open rooms. You've got, your conference rooms and places that anybody can access in your building. And then within all of your rooms, you have your murals. So imagine like your murals being on the wall of your office room. Kind of a simple anecdote to make that a little bit clearer. But I know it can be confusing, so feel free to ask any questions that might come up about how everything's kind of organized. Okay, cool. So next up, let's go back to our idea of planning this session that we're doing. We're going to plan our weekly meeting, and our key outcomes were to plan our Christmas party and to come up with a budget. So I'm going to start a new room. I'm going to click on this right here. I want to make a new private room. I'm going to call this Christmas party planning. I'm going to say I want it to be private. I can type in the purpose of the room, up to you, but I'm just going to create it as is. So I've got this new room right here. The first thing I want to do is I want to invite in my team. So I'm going to invite in Daniel. See, he pops up right here, and I'm going to send this invite to Daniel. So Daniel is now going to get a notification saying that he's been invited into a room. So I'm going to now create a new mural for our meeting, and I'm going to title it 12/6 Planning Meeting. So because I've invited Daniel into my room, he has access to every mural that will ever be created within that room. Right now, we only have this one mural, so Daniel's only going to see this one. But if I create another mural, maybe for next week's meeting, he'll be able to access that because he's already a member of my room. So kind of important to keep that in mind. If you don't want somebody to see all of the murals in your room, just invite them in here at the mural level rather than at the room level. Okay, so now I've got my mural here. I'm going to add a couple elements. So I'm going to go through this left toolbar right here and kind of show you guys all of the different elements that you can add onto the canvas, all of our key collaboration tools. So first up, we've got our text bar. Here, I can click and drag out titles and text boxes. I can also drag out sticky notes. So sticky notes are kind of like I would say the most basic key collaboration tool that we use here in Mural. We've got a couple different sizes, a couple different shapes. I can also add a sticky note onto the canvas just by double clicking directly on the canvas. So that's kind of a quick little shortcut. I can type anything I want on here. I can change the color. I can change the size, the font, all of that. Next up, I've got my shapes and connectors. So let's say I've got two ideas that are kind of linked together. I can drag and drop this arrow right on top of them. And if I move this around, you'll see that the arrow keeps them connected. So maybe if I'm working on a flow chart or some kind of diagram, I might want to add arrows just to keep the train of thought consistent. We've also got a couple of different shapes here. We're working on creating some new ones, which is going to be really exciting when they come out. For now, we've got squares and circles. This is great for kind of organizing content, maybe creating tables, creating different types of maps, of shapes, things like that. Lots of customization I can do here. In a brainstorming session, a lot of times we'll add shapes and we'll say like Madison's ideas, and then I'll add all my sticky notes right into the shape. It's kind of a quick little example of how you can use these shapes. Next up, we've got our icons. We have a collaboration with the Noun Project, which is an organization that has over 1 million icons. We've got access to them all here through Mural. I can just quickly scroll through some of these common ones. You can just drag and drop them onto the canvas. Or I can actually search for icons by keywords. So let's say I want to add a Christmas icon. I've got a couple different options here. You can just click and drag this right out onto the canvas. So icons are great for kind of making your sticky notes a little bit more visual, as well as we have a lot of users that use icons as kind of like a tagging system. So if they have a bunch of different ideas, they might tag some ideas as like priority and put them as like number one using an icon, and then other ones like backlog and make another icon for that. So lots of different ways to use icons on the canvas, and it's awesome. We've got such a great quantity of icons available to us. Next up, we've got our frameworks. We've got lots of different kind of like mini templates that you can add onto the canvas, ranging from design thinking to blueprints, things like that. We've got calendars, all of that. Oops, just step back on the page. We've also got our built-in image search right here, so you can just quickly search any image. We've got a integration with Bing. So let's say I want to search the word collaboration, hit enter, and I've immediately just got a bunch of different images. I can just click and drag and drop onto the canvas. Really simple. I can also copy and paste images from the web, from my computer. I can drag and drop pictures from my computer. I can right-click on the canvas and hit upload files. And I can add files from my computer or from my Dropbox. Now this is not limited to just images. I can add videos, I can add links, I can add PDFs, I can add pretty much any kind of file I want onto the canvas. We've also got a really awesome integration with YouTube, where if you add a YouTube link onto the canvas, you can actually watch the video on the canvas without ever having to leave the browser. So I'm gonna quickly drag and drop one on here just to give you guys an example. I can just hit paste, and the link will show up right here. If I double click on this right now, I can watch this video right here on the canvas. Super easy, super convenient. Kind of a cool thing to do here. And then lastly, the last toolbar icon I want to talk about is our draw mode. So because Mural is a digital whiteboard, it's very likely that you're going to want to actually be able to draw directly on the canvas. Got a couple different types of tip size here. Got highlighter options. You can change the color, etc. I'm going to quickly just draw a little smiley face right here. Oof, very spooky. Hit done drawing, and now this drawing acts as its own element. So I can move it around the canvas just like I can move around text boxes, images, sticky notes, etc. If you guys are on touch devices, if you have like an iPad or a Surface Pro, things like that, this draw tool is super, super helpful. Okay, awesome. So now that I've kind of gone through all the elements you can add onto the canvas, I am going to delete these and I'm going to get started with my brainstorming session. So Daniel and I are both in the Mural. I want to add for my framework section, I'm going to add an area. So areas are kind of just like mini boxes where you can add different icons to them, add different elements to them, and they all stay together in the same space. So I'm going to name this Christmas Party Ideas. Oops, just lost it. Christmas Party Ideas. What do we need to buy? So Daniel and I are now going to come up with a couple ideas. What do we need to buy for our Christmas party? So what kind of food do we want? Decorations, drinks, essentials, things like that. So I'm going to use the timer icon, which I can find up here in the top left. And I'm gonna give Daniel and I 3 minutes to brainstorm. So I'm gonna hit start timer. Now Daniel and I can see exactly how much time we have left. So anybody in the Mural will always be able to see the timer and how much time we've got left on the clock. So Daniel started to add a couple ideas. I'm gonna add ideas. I'm gonna organize mine by typing in purple. I see Daniel's in green, so just to kind of identify who's who, I'm gonna go in purple. So I'm gonna say we need cookies. We need the Mariah Carey Christmas album. What else do we need? Maybe someone in a Santa suit. I'm gonna actually right click on this and hit add comment. And I'm gonna tag Daniel and say, Daniel, you should wear a Santa suit. So let's say Daniel wasn't online with me right now and he were to receive this comment. When he logs on to Mural, he's gonna see that somebody has tagged him in a comment. So he can come in and see, okay, what's going on? What are they working on? Someone's tagged me. What exactly do they need from me? So this is really great when you have people that maybe are located in different time zones that aren't exactly collaborating with you live in real time. You can just leave comments for people to come in and check out what they've missed. Daniel says that would be a lot of fun, Madison. I'm gonna add an icon. Let's see, I want to add presents. And I also want to add a couple images. I want to add some pictures of Christmas cookies. And I'm just going to drag and drop this one out. And I'm going to connect it with an arrow, just in case people aren't sure that these are Christmas cookies. I'm going to add a drawing as well. I'm going to draw a Christmas tree. Oof, not the best artist, unfortunately. And then I'm going to say done drawing. We can see we've got about 50 seconds left. What else do I want to add? Maybe I want to add a recipe for Christmas cookies. Let's look one up. Christmas cookie recipe. I can just copy and paste this link into the Mural. And we can just double click on that and it'll open up in a new browser. We can get that recipe really, really simply. All right, we've got about 20 seconds left. Daniel and I both added a bunch of really great ideas. Okay, cool. Kind of wrapping this up now. So on this timer, I can choose to pause the timer, I can add more time, or I can end it early, either way. So as you guys will see right now, we're about to get a little pop-up that says the timer has ended. So everyone is made aware that time is up. Cool, so now we've got a lot of really great ideas. We're gonna wanna figure out what exactly are our most feasible and the most likely ideas that we can actually act on. So we're gonna run a voting session. So next to the timer icon, I see this little square right here. I'm gonna hit start voting session and I'm gonna name this Christmas party ideas. And I wanna give Daniel and I 3 votes each. So I'm gonna get this little pop-up that teaches me how to vote. I can vote by clicking on any element that will add my vote, and I can delete a vote by hitting shift and clicking on that element. So my votes are anonymous. So I'm gonna now pick my 3 favorite ideas. So I'm gonna vote for Christmas lights, Mariah Carey, and Santa suit. So up here I can see how many votes I have left and how many people are voting and how many votes they have left. So I can see that Daniel and I have both finished voting. So I'm going to end our voting session. So now I'm going to see all of our results. So our top vote was Santa suit. Can't say I'm surprised by that. And then the rest of these each received 1 vote. In the future, if I decide to do other voting sessions, I'll see them all lined up right here and I can always go back and access those old voting session results. Okay, so now that one second. So now that we've got our best ideas, we're going to try to find a way to bring these ideas to action. So I'm going to go out to my framework section right here. And I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to add one of our calendars. So I'm going to look for December. And I'm gonna just click and drag that right out onto the canvas. So we're gonna figure out of all the ideas we picked, when do we need to go buy things? When do we need to set things up? What's our timeline for that? So I'm gonna find all of the ideas we voted on, each have little numbers here showing how many votes they received. I'm gonna multiple select all of our top voted icons by hitting shift and clicking on them. And then I'm gonna hit command or control if I'm on a PC, and then the letter D for duplicate. So now as you can see, all of these elements have been duplicated to the right. It's kind of a little bit messy, so I'm gonna hit the arrange button and arrange them into a grid. So now they're all kind of right here next to each other, a little bit more organized. So these are our winners. So now we're gonna figure out, when do we need to get all these items ready to go. So I'm gonna add that our Christmas party is on the 21st, just to give us a sense of time here. Xmas party. And then Daniel and I are gonna click and drag out all of these onto the canvas. So Santa suit, we probably should buy pretty soon if we want to order that online, want to make sure it arrives on time. That on the 13th. Christmas lights, we can probably buy that now. Today's the 6th, let's buy that today. Mariah Carey Christmas album, we already have that. I'm not even worried about that. I'm gonna just put that today as well. And then Christmas jams, we can make another playlist in case we get tired of Mariah Carey. Don't think we will, but we can make that playlist on the 19th. All right, awesome. So now here we've got, kind of a more visual way to display our ideas and what we've come up with during our session. All right, cool. So that kind of covers how to run this session. I'm gonna hop back into our other mural over here. And I'm gonna go out to, okay. So I know we've covered a lot of stuff just now. Do we have any questions so far before we keep going?
No, it appears that we don't have any questions at the moment, actually.
Okay, awesome. We'll do another Q&A later on, so if any questions come up, feel free to just set them into the chat, set them into the Q&A section, and we'll definitely try to get to them. Okay, cool. So now we're going to move on to kind of recap and give you guys a few facilitation tips when you're running this session. So one of our first tips when you start a session, to do a warm-up activity. We've got a lot of cool warm-up activities in our template section that I mentioned earlier. It can be kind of a helpful way to get everybody into the mindset of like, okay, we just got out from another meeting and now we're running into this meeting, and maybe you don't really know everybody super well on the team. And so kind of just a way to get you guys focused, have a little bit of fun before you start the session. and just kind of get everybody a little bit more energized and into the spirit of collaboration. So another example here, this is called the Sketch Your Neighbor template. This one's really, really funny. We did this one with our team. We were on a Zoom call, and so we all just drew the person that's camera was next to ours on the screen and came up with some really, really bad drawings. We were seriously dying laughing. So we've got a link here about a couple other ones that we've got available. We'll throw that link in the chat. And then feel free to check out in the template section. We've got a lot of other energizers just to kind of get everybody on track and get everybody in the same mindset, pick up some spirits sometimes. Up next, we recommend using the time box feature as we showed you guys a little bit earlier, just kind of a great way to keep everybody on track and to keep everybody kind of in the same space and make sure that your activities don't run super long. And then finally, if you are doing a remote session, it's really important that we take turns and make sure that everyone's voices are heard. I'm sure we've all been part of, a Zoom call where it feels like maybe somebody is taking up a lot of time and there's kind of some more shyer and introverted people who aren't really getting their minds spoken. So really important just to, call people out, ask them what their ideas are. The comment is always a great way to, leave something really simple, really quick, tag somebody in there and say, hey, what did you think about this? Because obviously, as we all know, it can be kind of hard. Communication takes a little bit extra effort when you're working remotely. All right, so then finally, we'll go over how you can follow up your session. So you're definitely gonna want to share and invite in anybody who didn't have a chance to make it. If you've got people who maybe aren't using Mural that you wanna send the results to, you might wanna export your Mural. You can export your Mural as a PDF or a PNG or as a zip file. So if you've got, maybe some clients who don't use Mural, you wanna send them over all the results of the day, you can export that and send that over in an email or in Slack, whatever you tend to use. If you've got people that are located in different time zones, remember that they can hop on whenever they have time and add content, add comments, leave messages for each other, etc. So that's kind of the beauty of having a shared space is that it doesn't really matter which time zone you're in. Everybody can kind of hop on when they have time and add to the canvas. And then finally, it's always helpful to do a reflection. You can always start another mural for this. You can use some of our frameworks that we've got to do retrospectives, figure out, what went well, what didn't go well, what did we learn today, what are kind of the key takeaways from our session. So we really believe that you can do the entire session from preparing to running to following up all in Mural. We have a lot of clients who do it all the time. We personally do it during our sessions and just kind of wanted to give you guys a couple ideas and show you an example of how you can run your own session here in Mural. So I'm going to switch it back over to Daniel, and he's going to go over some use cases and some templates that we think are really helpful.
1 second as I move over the screen. I'm going to do a screen share real quick. And we're going to go right here. All right. So now we're going to go over some use cases and templates, ways that you can actually physically use Mural in your workspace. So Mural can be used for planning and management. So for example, we have a team stand-up template. Here at Mural, we actually do a weekly stand-up where we talk about, for example, what are our to-dos, what do we have in progress, what's on hold, and what is done. And this allows for more transparency between all of us and having a place where we can put these things down visually. Again, our backlog, what we have to put on hold, and our OKRs. This is a really great template to work with when you have different teams and you want everything to be as clear as possible. We also have, for design thinking and innovation, an example of this would be an experience map. So here we have a human-centered design, a building empathy map. You can have different stages of, for example, we have one that's like going to the supermarket. This is, let me see, conclude travel at home. Someone going on a bike ride, yes, going on the supermarket, and then having all of their experience mapped out. Obviously, this is just an example, but yeah, so we have these really brilliant templates for experience mapping. And then product and service design, we have different design critiques. So here you can map out a flow of, for example, a website, and then the different sketches that you have for the different pages, and having a mock-up. So we use things like this when we discuss how we want to have our own website evolve. And then, so we also have murals and canvases for marketing and branding. So an example of this would be the trend canvas to map out different trends, needs, drivers of change, innovation potential, et cetera, et cetera. We also have murals for strategy and business design. So we have a strategy blueprint. So an example here is for an iPad beta launch and how we would map out the different strategies for this beta launch. We also have murals. This is one of my personal favorite for instruction and facilitation. So an example we have here is a lean UX workshop mural. So this is, you can do business outcomes, go through different proto personas, user outcomes. You also have features, hypothesis. So we're going to go back to the mural here. Just to make this clear for instruction and facilitation, we actually offer free educational accounts for people registered in accredited universities for teachers and students. We have many users that are working in Mural for educational purposes. So these are some videos and common use cases. We have a video for workshop facilitation with Mural at Intuit, 5 everyday uses for Mural webinar recap, Mural cases, and then a common use cases in Mural. And my colleague Madison will be putting these into the chat. So your next steps would be to create your own room and mural. Start from a template or a framework. Then invite your colleagues into this mural by email or the share link, and then add your profile picture. So click on your avatar in the lower left-hand corner. So again, this is how we have here our photos, and we map ourselves out on our murals. And to learn more, we have excellent features such as Mural Scan, using design thinking and everyday work webinar recap. And then we also have a definitive guide to facilitating remote workshops. And then an example mural for pre-work, why you need it in your life. So these will all be put into the chat. So we're gonna take this is basically wrapping up the demo for today, but let's see, do we have any questions? All right, so I see that someone has, So I see someone has asked, can a voting session be left open for people to go into the mural and vote in between weekly meetings? Can a voting be left open for people to vote in between weekly meetings? Yes, it can. A voting session can be left open, and then when someone goes into the mural, they will receive a message that lets them know that they can begin voting. So yes, you can leave voting sessions open. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. Madison, do we have any other questions, any chance?
I'm not seeing any for now.
Oh, I see Roland saying I would also be interested in a recording for my colleagues and my team so we can start. Yes, we will have a recording of this and we will send you a link once the demo is over. All right, so it appears that we have no questions. If you have any questions for us, feel free to contact us at support@mural.co. You can also go to support.mural.co to view our help center, and then go to our blog to view many brilliant articles on design thinking and remote collaboration at blog.mural.co. Thank you all so much for joining, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great Thursday.